Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are bringing yourself to this place to listen to these words of affirmation and love. May God find you during your time. It's so important that we take time to meditate, to go into the stillness, even to rest, as today's daily word says. So, on this Wednesday, June the 9th, in the year 2020, the word for today is rest. 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 Make you feel like you want to go put your head on a pillow and take a nap? Rest. And the affirmation is I rest in the deep peace of God. I rest in the deep peace of God. I rest in the deep peace of God. My body gives me the power to exercise or perform physical work, and I reward it with rest from my labor. My mind uses its creative energy to solve problems and formulate solutions. I nurture my busy mind with time in the silence and meditative stillness. As I rest my body and mind, I find deep, rejuvenating peace in God. So much more than mere indulgence, restful interludes are necessary for my body and mind to function optimally. I do those things that help me to let go and release the busyness of my day. I find my deepest rest in God, where I am closest to spirit in my mind and heart. I release what is and what will be in faith that the divine presence within is the source of my good. Mm. And our scripture comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. Come to me, all that are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. These are the words that Jesus shared with his disciples, telling them that his yoke was easy and his burden was light, and that for all who would come to them that were weary and carrying burdens, that he would give them rest. And sometimes in our lives, we've been carrying heavy burdens, emotional burdens, financial burdens, worries and concerns about life. And Spirit calls us in the same way. Come unto me, all you that are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. We rest by laying down and giving ourselves some time to just not think about anything or even to take a nap. But there's also a resting in the deep peace of God. There's also a going into the stillness, into the silence, and connecting with the divine within, where we can rest in the deep presence of God. Sometimes, first, we have to cultivate the habit of resting, of putting down our physical burdens and giving ourselves an opportunity to rest from our labor. Scientists say that they used to say we needed at least 8 hours of sleep every night, and now they're saying that we need more for our body to truly replenish itself and repair and give us the strength we need to start a new day. So we want to nurture our body by giving it physical rest, ceasing from our physical labor. We want to nurture our busy mind by going into the silence and meditating, just sitting in that knowing, letting your thoughts come and go, just being mindful of your breath and just breathing and just being and letting go of worry and concerns. This is the rest that we give to our mind when we go into silence and meditative stillness. We want to rest our body and our mind. We want to enter into the rejuvenating peace of God. Sometimes a minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes will do the trick. We just rest, we relax, and we affirm, I rest in the deep peace of God. I rest in the deep peace of God. And when we do, we can feel that presence. We can find our deepest rest in the presence, the light, the love, the power, the creative energy, the source that we call God. And when we do, we can release any and everything that is causing us distress and turn to our source in faith and in divine understanding as we enter into the divine presence, our source of all good. Happy are we when we know that there is a divine presence at work in our lives and that it is all good. Even in the midst of the busyness and the craziness of our world, we can enter into that silence and meditative peace and feel the deep peace of God and rest in that knowing that we shall be rejuvenated, replenished through the peace of God, that we are connected to the source, the abundance of all that is. And isn't that wonderful? Mm. I rest in the deep peace of God. Let this be your affirmation today as you go forth. Know that there's a lot of busyness to our days, but we have to take time to rest our physical body from labor and also to rest our mind by going into the silence, meditating, and going into the deep peace of God. May you find moments today in that deep, peaceful presence of God. Know that the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you as the presence of God watches over you. That's that deep peace watching over us. Wherever you are, wherever you go, God is there and all is well. Hmm. And I behold the Christ as you. Namaste and peace.